Hi, I'm Daniel and this is devlog number 2 of Project Epsilon, a tactical squad-based game where you'll protect the Earth against a certain alien threat. Okay, so the squads can have quite a few soldiers, and in order to make this easier to manage, there's a squad overlay screen where you can see the status of everyone. Toggling it on and off just changes its visibility, so it's not created every single time or anything like that. Anyway, last week I noticed an issue with it, so let's have a closer look. I'm going to load up a squad of 50, which granted is more soldiers than we'll ever support. Things are lazily loaded, so I'm going to ignore its first appearance. Just toggling a game object on and off generates a whopping 2.6 megabytes of garbage. It's going to trigger a GC collect later down the line, and will make things feel choppy, especially if it happens during camera movement. After investigating this a bit, it seems that most of the garbage comes from a prefab used to show HP and time units. In particular, its unity's horizontal layout group and content size fitter components. Their code being publicly available on the internet, I looked over it to understand what's happening. On enable, the canvas is marked as dirty, which triggers a canvas repaint. This is in line to what the profiler was reporting, so I guess it makes sense. In order to fix the issue, I created a GameObject extension method that finds and disables child components, and then I'm evoking these methods after the first load. Now let's have another look. Oh yeah, I also refactored the loading process so that the overlay is preloaded during this time. I'm going to turn on the profiler and display the overlay. So this is now generating just 3.9 kilobytes of garbage. Not going to lie, I'd like it to be 0, but it's good enough. Next up, implementing medkits. To get started, I added a special cursor when the medkit action is selected. What I noticed is that it needs to be hidden over the UI, otherwise it's very confusing, especially over menus. So when showing the cursor, I implemented a check to see if the pointer is over the UI or not. So now, every time I hover on a UI element, the cursor changes back to its default. With this out of the way, I coded the entire healing backend. The basic medkits, such as the one equipped, heals only bleeding however, but more advanced versions may heal a bit of HP as well. I'm going to inflict some damage by throwing this. So the unit is clearly bleeding. To heal someone, you need to move adjacent to them, and only then you can use a medkit. You can see that the bleeding has diminished. A unit can also heal itself. Now the bleeding is almost gone. And when it stopped, you see a notification about it, so there's no guesswork involved. The last thing I've done was implementing picking and dropping dead or unconscious bodies, which was surprisingly easier to implement compared to the medkits. For this test, I've considerably upped the grenade damage. Similar to medkits, you need to move adjacent to the body you want to pick up. Please ignore the placeholder animation, let's just pretend he's carrying something. Anyway, when carrying a body, movement and rotation cost significantly more time units, so there's quite a big gap between the two, but I'll balance it out at a later time. And to drop the unit, I need to click on the drop action, and then I can also pick it up again and so on. Almost forgot though, you can only move when you're carrying something, so you need to rely on your teammates to get to safety. At this point, I was thinking, what happens if someone carrying a body gets killed? Let's find out. That's not right, there should be two bodies there. After some tweaking, let's try things again. Okay, so now there are 2 bodies there. Well, this has been the progress since the last devlog. Thanks for watching. I'll catch you in the next one.